makes small deals. It asks you to lower your standards just a little, delay your effort for a moment, and choose what is convenient instead of what is necessary. The danger of comfort is not that it feels bad. The danger is that it feels good. It feels earned. It feels reasonable. You worked hard. You deserve a break. You can start tomorrow. So the pattern begins, not with failure, but with small compromises. One compromise becomes a habit. A habit becomes a lifestyle. A lifestyle becomes an identity. We live in a time of constant convenience. Food is ready. Rooms are comfortable. Entertainment is instant. Almost everything can be gained without much effort. There is nothing wrong with comfort itself. Rest has value. Recovery matters. A person who never rests will burn out and lose effectiveness. Planned rest is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the pause that allows strength to return. But comfort is not the same as rest. Rest is planned and temporary. Comfort, when overused, becomes permanent. Rest prepares you to work again. Comfort replaces the work. Rest says, recover so you can come back stronger. Comfort says, stay here. This is enough. Rest has purpose. Comfort often becomes escape. When ease becomes your normal standard, ambition slowly fades. The mind starts judging effort by how uncomfortable it feels. If something feels too hard, you assume it is not necessary. If it requires sacrifice, you assume it is not urgent. Yet excellence has never come from convenience. It is built through resistance. There is a difference between what is easy and what is meaningful. The easy path does not demand discipline. It does not ask you to wake up earlier than you want. It does not ask you to practice when you would rather relax. It does not force you to face your weaknesses or fix your mistakes. It only asks that you drift toward what feels good. And drifting always moves downward unless you steer it with intention. Mediocrity rarely looks like failure. It looks like good enough. It says, this is fine. It says, this will do. It says, no one expects more. Over time, that quiet acceptance becomes a ceiling. You stop aiming for excellence because excellence is uncomfortable. You stop pushing past average because average does not challenge you. You begin measuring your life by what is convenient instead of what is possible. The real tragedy is not aiming high and missing. It is aiming low and succeeding. Many people achieve what is easy. They build routines that ask little and give little. They avoid strain, and in doing so, avoid growth. Muscles weaken without use. The mind dulls without challenge. Character softens without pressure. Ease does not create excellence because excellence requires resistance. Muscles grow by pushing against weight. Skills improve by facing difficulty. Character strengthens under pressure. Remove resistance, and you remove the force that causes growth. A life without challenge may feel pleasant now, but it creates weakness later. Comfort can quietly limit your life. When you keep choosing what is easiest, you train yourself to avoid what is hard. When you avoid what is hard, your capacity shrinks. Tasks that once seemed manageable start to feel overwhelming. Responsibilities that once felt fair begin to feel heavy. Slowly, you design a life that asks very little of you. That is the subtle trap. Comfort makes you think you are protecting yourself. In truth, you are limiting yourself. It suggests that by avoiding difficulty, you are saving energy. In reality, you are weakening resilience. It whispers that there will always be time later. It does not remind you that later is shaped by what you do today. There is a difference between enjoying the results of hard work and avoiding hard work altogether. Enjoyment is the reward. Avoidance is rejection. When avoidance becomes a habit, self-respect begins to slip. You know what you could be doing. You know what you have delayed. You know where you lowered the standard. Even if no one else sees it, you do. Over time, comfort lowers expectations. If you always choose what is convenient, you start expecting convenience. You lose tolerance for hardship. Small problems feel large. Minor delays feel unfair. You begin seeing normal resistance as an unreasonable burden. And since excellence requires steady resistance, you slowly step away from it. Refusing the easy life does not mean rejecting happiness. It does not mean chasing pain for its own sake. It means not letting comfort control your choices. It means judging decisions by what builds strength over time. Not just what feels good now, it means knowing the difference between needed rest and unnecessary retreat. In your daily routine, there are constant chances to choose ease or effort, an extra hour of sleep or an hour of preparation, an easy excuse or a hard conversation, a distraction or focused practice. Each choice seems small on its own. Together, they shape your direction. If you keep choosing ease, you build a life that demands less from you. If you keep choosing effort, you build a life that asks more and gives more in return. Excellence is rarely comfortable. Growth is rarely convenient. Meaning is rarely found on the easiest path. The principle is simple. Ease rarely produces excellence. It produces comfort and predictability. It creates a life that feels safe, but not significant. If you want significance, you must accept strain. If you want strength, you must accept resistance. If you want self-respect, you must refuse the easy life. The choice is not dramatic. It is daily. It lives in small disciplines, repeated over time. Comfort will always be there. The question is whether you let it set your standard. Excellence asks for more. And if you want to become more, you must choose what is hard over what is easy, again and again, until effort becomes familiar and discipline becomes your ally. Identity is not built in moments of applause. It is not formed by bold statements or good intentions alone. Identity is built through repetition. It is shaped quietly by what you choose again and again, especially when no one is watching and there is no reward. Who you believe you are is not decided by what you hope to become, but by what you consistently do. I'm telling you, there is a simple rule at work in every life. You do not become confident by wishing for confidence. You become confident by keeping promises. You do not become disciplined by talking about discipline. You become disciplined by practicing it, especially when it is hard. Identity grows over time. It is earned by choosing difficulty on purpose, again and again. Many people try to build confidence on talent. Talent helps. It can give you an early edge. It may open doors and bring quick success. But confidence based only on talent is weak. When talent meets resistance, and resistance feels unfamiliar, doubt shows up quickly. If you depend on natural ability without building discipline, your confidence will rise and fall with your circumstances. There is another kind of confidence that is quieter but stronger. It is built on kept commitments. When you promise yourself you will wake up early and you follow through, something shifts inside. When you decide to finish a task and complete it despite being tired, something grows stronger. Each kept promise adds proof to your self-image. You begin to trust yourself. Self-respect cannot be demanded or borrowed. It cannot be bought. It is earned when your actions match your words. When you keep breaking your own promises, your self-trust weakens. Even if no one else knows, you know. And that awareness shapes how you see yourself. Your mind keeps track. Choosing difficulty on purpose is how identity is forged. When you pick what is challenging instead of what is easy, you send yourself a message. You prove that comfort does not control you. You show that your standards are not ruled by your mood. Each disciplined action strengthens the belief that says, I do what I say, I will do. There is a difference between hardship forced on you and hardship you choose. When difficulty is forced on you, you may grow, but often with frustration. When you choose difficulty, you grow with clarity. You're not just reacting to life. You are shaping yourself. Choosing strain builds inner authority. Who you become is shaped by what you willingly endure. If you avoid challenge, you stay untested. If you stay untested, you remain unsure. But when you face what is hard repeatedly, your identity becomes steady. You begin to see yourself as capable, not because someone said so, but because you proved it. Each day gives you chances to strengthen or weaken your identity. Studying when you would rather relax. Practicing when you want to delay. Speaking honestly when silence would be easier. Every small decision adds to the structure of who you are becoming. The rule is clear. Repeated chosen difficulty expands your identity. Repeated chosen comfort shrinks it. If you regularly choose effort, your limits slowly move outward. What once felt intimidating becomes manageable. What once felt overwhelming becomes normal. Your capacity grows because you have trained it through effort. Identity is not fixed. It changes daily. You are not trapped by your past. You are shaped by your repeated choices. If you choose discipline, you become disciplined. If you choose avoidance, you become hesitant. Over time, the pattern becomes the person. Weak confidence looks for praise. Strong confidence relies on proof. Proof comes from effort. When you know you have faced discomfort on purpose and stayed consistent beyond convenience, you carry yourself differently. It is not loud or showy. It is steady and certain. This steady confidence is quiet strength. It belongs to someone who is trained under pressure. It belongs to someone who kept commitments even when no one else noticed. It does not fall apart when applause disappears because it was never built on applause. It was built on discipline. You see, an earned identity makes decisions easier. When you see yourself as someone who keeps promises, action becomes natural. You do not argue with yourself every day. You act because it matches who you have proven yourself to be. Your standards stay firm because they are backed by evidence. This law does not work through one dramatic moment. It works through small, repeated actions. One more page studied. One more repetition practiced. One expense avoided. One difficult conversation started. Alone, these actions seem small. Repeated over time, they reshape how you see yourself. When you willingly face what is demanding, you increase your strength for future challenges. Your tolerance for pressure grows. Your emotional endurance improves. Most importantly, your inner story changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who seeks relief. You start seeing yourself as someone who seeks growth. An identity built through discipline does not shake easily. It has been tested and reinforced. It was earned. And what is earned carries weight. To refuse the easy life is to accept this rule. It means understanding that who you become is shaped by what you repeatedly choose to endure. Self-respect is not created by speeches. It is built through action. Each kept promise is a brick. Each disciplined choice is mortar. Over time, a solid structure forms. That structure is your identity. It will be built on comfort or on effort. It will be weak or strong. It will depend on talent or on discipline. The choice is made daily, not by intention alone, but by repeatedly choosing the hard path that strengthens you from the inside out. Avoidance does not look dangerous at first. It feels like relief. It gives you a way to escape pressure, delay discomfort, and put off responsibility. It tells you nothing urgent will be lost by waiting. It promises a better time, a clearer mind, a more convenient season. So you delay the decision. The problem is that the cost of avoidance is not paid right away. That is why it is so convincing. When you delay a hard task, you feel lighter for a moment. When you avoid a tough conversation, you feel calmer. When you ignore a weakness, you feel spared from embarrassment. The relief is real, but it does not last. The cost, however, keeps building. Every delayed decision stays with you. It does not disappear. It waits. And while it waits, it grows heavier. A small task turns into a big burden. A minor issue becomes a serious problem. A small weakness becomes a lasting limitation. Avoidance grows quietly, like a debt increasing in the background. There is a hidden price for choosing the easy path. You pay for it in missed opportunities. You pay in reduced ability. You pay in quiet frustration. Every time you choose short-term relief instead of long-term progress, you give up some potential. You may not see the loss today, but you will feel it later. Delayed decisions create tension inside you. You know what needs attention. You know what you have put off. Even if you distract yourself, that awareness remains. It creates a subtle dissatisfaction. You may not talk about it. You may not fully admit it, but it shapes how you see yourself. When you keep postponing goals, your resolve weakens. If you constantly tell yourself you will start later, your mind begins to doubt you. Your ambitions lose urgency. Over time, your dreams feel less important. What once felt necessary begins to feel optional. Weaknesses that you tolerate become limits. If you allow a lack of discipline to continue, it becomes your standard. If you excuse inconsistency, inconsistency becomes part of who you are. What you accept today becomes normal tomorrow, and what becomes normal shapes your future. Short-term relief often turns into long-term regret. In the moment, the delay feels harmless. What difference does one day make? What harm is there in waiting? The answer lies in repetition. One delay leads to another. One small compromise makes the next easier. Soon, it becomes a pattern. Regret usually does not explode into your life. It shows up quietly. You notice what you could have become. You see the gap between your potential and your current reality. You realize that gap was not created by one big mistake, but by many small avoidances. On the outside, avoidance limits you. Opportunities require preparation. Responsibilities require readiness. If you keep choosing ease, you may not be ready when opportunity arrives. The chance appears, but you lack the skill. The door opens, but you lack the discipline, and it passes. On the inside, avoidance weakens you. Each time you step back from difficulty, your self-trust fades. You begin to doubt your reliability. You hesitate to commit because you remember how often you postponed before. Others may not see this, but it shapes your confidence. Here's what avoidance does. It makes fear grow. When you delay facing something, it grows in your imagination. What could have been manageable becomes intimidating. What might have required effort now feels overwhelming. The longer you wait, the larger it seems. The easy path often sounds harmless. It says, you can do this later. It says, you deserve a break. It says, there is no rush. But time keeps moving. Situations change. Others move ahead. The task you postponed is still undone. There is another cost that is easy to miss. Avoidance slows growth. Growth happens when you face resistance. When you choose relief instead, you miss the chance to get stronger. Muscles weaken without use. Skills fade without practice. Courage shrinks when it is not exercised. By choosing avoidance, you choose limitation. You stay within what feels manageable right now. You do not expand your ability. You do not stretch your endurance. You stay inside familiar boundaries. And familiar boundaries rarely lead to progress. The longer avoidance continues, the harder it is to correct. Habits settle in. Patterns become normal. Your identity adjusts. You start seeing yourself as someone who delays, someone who waits for better conditions. That belief shapes your next choice and keeps the cycle going. Avoidance is not always obvious laziness. Sometimes it looks like distraction. Sometimes it looks like small indulgences. Sometimes it hides behind excuses. You tell yourself the timing is not right, that you need more preparation, that you need more clarity, so you wait. But clarity often comes after action, not before it. Momentum is built by moving, not by thinking alone. Waiting for perfect conditions leads to stagnation. Avoiding effort shrinks your ability. Refusing the easy life means confronting delay instead of defending it. It means seeing the real cost of putting things off. Comfort now often creates limits later. Acting when it is uncomfortable is not just about finishing tasks. It is about protecting who you could become. Every time you handle something difficult, instead of postponing it, you interrupt the pattern. You replace regret with momentum. You replace frustration with confidence. You strengthen your identity instead of weakening it. The easy option gives relief. The hard option demands effort. But only one builds capacity. Only one increases skill. Only one protects future opportunity. Avoidance feels light in the moment, but grows heavy over time. Discipline feels heavy at first, but grows lighter as you get stronger. Delay builds quietly. So does strength. If you want to preserve your potential, you must stop waiting for the perfect moment. Face what needs attention while it is still manageable. The longer you avoid it, the harder it becomes. There is a difference between being forced to grow and choosing to grow. When growth is forced, you react. When you choose it, you prepare. Preparing yourself before life demands. It is strategy, not punishment. Many people wait for pressure to push them. They wait for crisis to create discipline. They wait for difficulty to demand change. But crisis does not train gently. It arrives without warning. If you have not built strength beforehand, you will struggle to respond. Growth changes when you choose effort ahead of necessity. Waking up earlier than required is not just about time. It builds control. Studying beyond what is expected is not just about information. It builds focus. Training past comfort is not just about strength. It builds persistence. When you regularly stretch yourself, your limits move. You become familiar with effort. You get used to discomfort. And what feels familiar feels less threatening. Take early rising. No one forces it. There is no emergency. Yet choosing it builds self-command. It proves that preference does not rule you. Repeated over time, it creates stability. The same applies to learning. Studying consistently builds advantage. Knowledge compounds. Preparation builds readiness. When opportunity appears, you are not scrambling. You are prepared. Physical training works in the same way. Resistance builds strength. Repetition builds endurance. What once felt exhausting becomes manageable. Your tolerance for stress increases. Financial discipline follows the same pattern. Saving instead of spending. Planning instead of reacting. Delaying small comforts to secure larger freedom. At first it feels restrictive. Over time it creates options. Small acts of effort repeated consistently produce real returns. One focused morning improves a day. One steady study habit improves skill. One consistent workout improves health. One wise financial choice improves stability. Repeated over months and years, the impact multiplies. When you regularly choose effort, you are less shaken by chaos. Difficulty feels less overwhelming because you have practiced handling strain. You respond calmly. You think clearly. You are not easily thrown off course. There is quiet confidence in preparation, not arrogance, but readiness. You trust yourself because you have tested yourself. You know you can handle more because you have already handled discomfort on purpose. Choosing effort over ease clarifies what matters. You stop being guided only by impulse. You begin acting from intention. That clarity reduces internal conflict. You know why you are doing what you are doing. An easy life can leave you unprepared. When real challenges come, they feel bigger than they are because you never trained for them. Small problems feel overwhelming. Minor setbacks feel severe. Without consistent effort, resilience stays underdeveloped. Those who regularly challenge themselves adapt more easily. They know discomfort can be handled. They know effort leads to growth. So when real pressure comes, it does not feel unfamiliar. This is not about chasing suffering. It is about building strength. It is about preparing in calm seasons so you do not collapse in difficult ones. The benefits extend beyond skill or finances. Your mindset changes. Your tolerance for challenge rises. Your impulse to quit weakens. What once felt intimidating becomes manageable. You begin operating from strength instead of fragility. You no longer need perfect conditions. You are less dependent on comfort. You are less shaken by inconvenience. Stability grows from repeated effort. That is real advantage. While others wait for motivation, you rely on discipline. While others seek comfort, you build capacity. While others are surprised by difficulty, you are ready. That readiness is built, not given. Refusing the easy life means choosing preparation over complacency. It means understanding that effort today increases ability tomorrow. The reward may not be immediate, but it is dependable. When you consistently choose growth instead of avoidance, you expand your limits. You prepare for opportunity. You prepare for responsibility. You prepare for challenge. And when more is asked of you, you are ready. Not because you were forced into change, but because you prepared for it in advance. Standards quietly shape your life. They decide results long before you see them. They work beneath your words and intentions. You do not rise to what you hope for. You fall to what you accept. What you tolerate becomes your limit. What you enforce becomes your base. A standard is a clear rule you set for yourself. It is a decision made ahead of time about what you will and will not allow. It does not depend on how you feel. It does not change because it is inconvenient. It is a clear line. When you cross it, you correct it without debate. Low standards lead to repeated compromise. If you allow inconsistency, you will be inconsistent. If you allow delay, you will delay. If you excuse average effort, you will get average results. The outcome is not surprising. It matches the standard you set. High standards make decisions easier. When the line is clear, there is no argument. If your standard is daily preparation, you prepare. If your standard is honesty, you tell the truth. If your standard is discipline, you follow through. The decision was made in advance, so there is nothing to debate. When you lack standards, you feel drained. You must decide again and again whether to act or delay. You keep negotiating with yourself. That constant debate uses up energy and weakens your resolve. Inconsistency follows. Raising your standards starts with honesty. Look at your habits clearly. What do you allow over and over? Where do you lower the bar? In what areas have you accepted less than you are capable of? This review takes courage because it exposes what you have been tolerating. Your habits show your real standards. You can talk about ambition, but your routine shows the truth. You can say you value discipline, but your schedule reveals your focus. Daily behavior is proof. It shows what you actually enforce. The people and influences around you reflect your standards. The conversations you allow, the attitudes you accept, the excuses you tolerate. All of these shape your actions. If you stay around low expectations, your own expectations drop. If excuses are normal, they become yours. You must review your routine. Look at how you start your day. Look at how you use your time. Look at how you end your evenings. Each part reveals your internal rules. Do you allow distraction? Do you allow delay? Or do you maintain structure? Removing what encourages ease is not dramatic. It is intentional. It might mean cutting back on wasted time. It might mean changing your schedule. It might mean limiting environments that lower your focus. Small changes raise your baseline. Standards should stretch you, but not break you. If they are too low, you will not grow. If they are too extreme, you may collapse. The goal is steady improvement. Raise the requirements slightly above your comfort. Keep it there until it becomes normal, then raise it again. When you enforce standards consistently, they become part of who you are. You no longer argue with yourself, you simply act. This is when discipline becomes smoother. The choice has already been made. There will be pushback from old habits. Comfort will ask for exceptions, but too much flexibility weakens standards. A rule that bends too often eventually disappears. Maintaining high standards requires attention. You must check your performance honestly. When you fall short, correct it quickly. Not with harshness, but with firmness. If you ignore mistakes, they repeat. High standards do not remove difficulty. They control it. They stop small slips from becoming major failures. They protect your direction. When your standards are clear, setbacks are handled early instead of ignored. And your standards affect every part of your life. Your health reflects your standards. Your finances reflect your standards. Your learning reflects your standards. Your relationships reflect your standards. Results are not random. They follow your internal rules. Refusing the easy life means raising your standards. It means deciding that certain behaviors are no longer acceptable. It means closing the doors that lead to repeated escape. It means expecting more from yourself than comfort would suggest. Standards do not need announcements. They need enforcement. Over time, enforcement shapes results. Results strengthen identity. If you want different results, look at your standards. Raise them on purpose. Enforce them daily. Remove what weakens them. What you allow defines you. What you refuse shapes you. A life with low standards drifts. A life with high standards moves forward. The difference is rarely talent. It is policy. Set the policy. Protect it every day. Let it guide your actions until excellence is not just a goal, but your normal expectation. The ability to delay gratification separates potential from real performance. It is the simple discipline of choosing what helps you later instead of what feels good now. It is not dramatic or loud. It is a steady choice made in small moments throughout the day. Every impulse gives you a decision. Give in now or wait on purpose. The immediate reward feels real. It satisfies desire, lowers tension, and brings quick pleasure. The delayed reward builds strength. It improves focus, increases patience, and strengthens endurance. When you resist an impulse, you are not just denying comfort. You are building control. Each time you say no to distraction, you strengthen your command over your attention. Each time you postpone indulgence, you grow more comfortable with discomfort. Over time, this sharpens your ability to think long-term. Most impulses are not harmful by themselves. One extra purchase seems small. One missed study session seems minor. One distraction feels harmless. But repeated actions shape character. Repeated indulgence trains you to expect instant reward. Repeated restraint trains you to value long-term benefit. Delaying pleasure expands your thinking. When you wait, you look beyond the present moment. You think about consequences. You consider impact. This shift from reaction to intention increases your capacity. Capacity is not fixed. It grows when stretched. When you resist what is easy, you build inner strength. Focus improves because you practice it. Patience grows because it is required. Discipline becomes stable because you use it often. There is strength in waiting. Waiting is not weakness. It is controlled patience. It is staying on course without needing immediate results. Many people quit because progress is slow. Those who can delay understand that growth often happens gradually. Resisting impulse clarifies what matters most. When you give up a small pleasure for a larger goal, you show that the goal matters more. You prove that your future is more important than temporary comfort. This strengthens determination. People who cannot delay often stay limited. Immediate rewards narrow thinking. They focus on short-term comfort. Over time, this limits achievement. Someone who always chooses comfort now rarely controls bigger opportunities later. Opportunity rewards preparation. Preparation usually requires sacrifice. Study while others relax. Save while others spend. Train while others rest. You see, advantage appears when preparation meets opportunity. The steady student becomes skilled. The disciplined saver becomes stable. The focused trainee becomes capable. To others, the success may look sudden. In reality, it was built through consistent delay. There is freedom in self-control. When impulse does not control you, circumstances do not control you as easily. You do not need constant stimulation. You do not depend on instant rewards to stay motivated. You act with intention instead of reacting automatically. Resisting impulse strengthens emotional control. You become less reactive. You handle discomfort without panic. You endure boredom without quitting. This steadiness improves your decisions and prevents rash choices. When you master delay, your thinking changes. Instead of asking, "What feels good right now?" you ask, "What will make me stronger later?" That single shift changes behavior. It shapes daily habits and directs energy toward growth. Delayed gratification is not permanent denial. It is smart timing. You delay smaller pleasures to secure greater ones. You trade minor comfort for lasting benefit. You choose discipline today to enjoy freedom later. Each time you resist impulse, your endurance increases. Each time you keep going without instant reward, your resilience grows. Gradually, your tolerance for difficulty rises. Tasks that once felt boring become manageable. Effort that once felt heavy becomes normal. Those who learn to delay often gain more opportunity. They have focus when others are distracted. They have resources when others have spent. They have skill when others are unprepared. The easy life offers quick pleasure. The disciplined life builds capacity. Quick pleasure fades fast. Capacity lasts. One makes you dependent on comfort. The other makes you strong. Refusing the easy life means practicing delay on purpose. It means learning to function without instant reward. It means understanding that strength grows when impulse is controlled. Waiting, when done with intention, increases what you are capable of achieving. When you consistently choose long-term goals over short-term pleasure, your future changes. You build leverage. You expand possibility. You develop patience and focus. Over time, the rewards you once had to wait for become the natural result of disciplined living. Most people think about life in short blocks of time. They judge choices by how they will feel tonight, this week, or this month. Very few think in decades. But when you stretch your timeline, your behavior changes. What feels comfortable today can look expensive when you view it over 10 or 20 years. A long horizon means looking past the present moment. It means asking not just, how does this help me now? But what will this create over time? When you think this way, small comforts lose power. Quick pleasure matters less than long-term results. An easy life now often leads to a harder life later. If you avoid preparation, you will face situations unprepared. If you ignore your health, you will eventually deal with the consequences. If you avoid discipline, you may later experience instability. The cost of ease is delayed, but it usually arrives. On the other hand, discipline today often creates freedom later. Steady effort builds skill. Skill builds opportunity. Savings build security. Reputation builds trust. What once felt difficult becomes normal. Early effort creates later choice. When you think in decades, you value consistency more than intensity. Short bursts of motivation matter less than steady habits. You realize that small actions repeated for years shape your direction. Patience replaces urgency. With a long horizon, you react less to small problems. A bad day does not feel like a ruined life. Temporary discomfort does not feel permanent. You see setbacks as part of a bigger story, not as final outcomes. This perspective builds endurance. The easy life seeks quick relief. It avoids strain because strain feels uncomfortable right now. The disciplined life accepts strain because it sees it as an investment. Over time, the results are clear. One path reduces options. The other increases them. Many people think freedom means no limits. In reality, freedom often comes from limits you choose. Saving money today can create financial freedom later. Studying consistently can create career options later. Taking care of your body now can preserve mobility later. Thinking long-term improves decision-making. You begin to ask better questions. Will this habit help me in 10 years? Will this relationship strengthen or weaken me over time? These questions help prevent slow decline. Drift is hard to notice day by day. Over years, it becomes obvious. A small drop in effort, repeated often, leads to major loss. A small increase in discipline, repeated often, leads to major gain. Time multiplies whatever direction you choose. People who refuse the easy life understand this compounding effect. They know that small improvements, maintained over time, create big change. They do not quit just because progress is slow at first. They stay steady because they are focused on the long term. Immediate comfort often causes you to use resources that should be invested. Your time, energy, and attention are valuable. If you waste them, they are gone. If you invest them, they produce returns. A long horizon protects these resources. Thinking in decades builds humility. You accept that real mastery takes time. You stop chasing shortcuts. You commit to learning and growing slowly. You understand that strong foundations come before visible success. A long-term mindset protects you from discouragement. When results take time, you are not surprised. When progress is slow, you remain patient. You expect growth to be gradual, so you do not quit too soon. An easy life spends tomorrow's strength on today's comfort. A disciplined life invests effort now to protect tomorrow's freedom. The difference becomes clear over time. Refusing the easy life means choosing based on future consequences. It means building habits that may feel demanding today, but create stability later. Freedom is not handed to you. It is built step by step. When you think in decades, You focus on direction instead of speed. You accept slow, steady growth because it lasts. You avoid shortcuts because you understand their long-term cost. Time will pass no matter what you choose. Years will add up. The only question is what they will multiply, comfort or discipline. One leads to weakness, the other leads to freedom. A long horizon turns daily choices into investments. It shifts your focus from quick comfort to lasting strength. And over time, it ensures that your life reflects careful intention instead of momentary impulse. A life that asks nothing of you will give you nothing. Growth does not happen by accident. It must be required. If your environment lets you stay the same year after year without consequences, you probably will. Comfort keeps you at your current level. Demand pushes you beyond it. Designing a life that requires growth starts with structure. You must create conditions that expect improvement, not just suggest it. Good intentions are not enough. Motivation comes and goes. Your environment affects you every day. If it promotes ease, you will choose ease. If it requires effort, you will rise to it. Start with goals slightly above your current ability. Not unrealistic dreams, but real challenges that stretch you. When a goal demands more than you currently have, you are forced to grow. The goal exposes weaknesses and pushes you to improve. Choosing the right goal takes honesty. You need to know where you stand. Look at your habits, skills, and discipline. Then choose a target that requires growth. It should feel uncomfortable but possible with effort. If it is too easy, you will not change. If it is too extreme, you may quit. The people around you matter. Standards are influenced by environment. If those around you accept average results, average feels normal. If those around you aim higher, higher becomes the standard. The people you spend time with quietly shape your expectations. This is not about constant comparison. It is about exposure to better standards. Conversations that challenge you, examples that show discipline, expectations that do not accept excuses. These influences apply positive pressure. You got to remove those easy escape routes. If distractions are always close, focus becomes optional. If comfort is always available, discipline becomes rare. Reduce what makes avoidance easy. Remove what encourages drift. Make effort the default response. Create daily routines that demand consistency. Set times for study. Schedule training. Plan moments for reflection. When structure is in place, growth becomes part of your day instead of something you hope to do later. Accountability strengthens this design. Track your actions. Share progress with someone you trust. What you measure improves. What you ignore declines. Accountability turns desire into responsibility. A growth-focused life still includes rest, but rest supports effort. Recovery prepares you for the next challenge. It is not endless retreat. Balance is not avoiding difficulty. It is alternating effort with renewal. When you reduce constant comfort and increase healthy demands, change happens. You adapt because you must. You build discipline because it is necessary. You strengthen resilience because it is tested. Growth should be steady, not occasional. Small improvements maintained over years create major change. You do not need dramatic reinvention. You need gradual elevation. Raise your standards slightly, hold it, then raise it again. Refusing the easy life is not about endless strain. It is about intentional design. It means building conditions that require improvement. It means avoiding environments that allow stagnation. Over time, the results multiply. Your capacity increases. Your confidence becomes stable. Your freedom expands. What once felt difficult becomes normal. What once required effort becomes routine. A meaningful life is rarely effortless. It demands focus. It requires sacrifice. It insists on growth. But the reward is depth and strength. You become capable. You become prepared. You become steady. Design your life so growth is expected. Choose challenges that stretch you. Surround yourself with higher standards. Remove the habits that pull you backward. Structure your days so discipline is practiced, not postponed. When you do this, effort becomes part of who you are. Strain becomes strength. Intention turns into reality. The path is demanding, but it leads to real progress when chosen on purpose. Refuse the easy life. Choose the meaningful one. Build it carefully. Support it with discipline, and let it shape you into someone stronger than comfort ever could.